let's say it's not just, you can, let's say for example, if you ate fish yesterday before going to bed, and this morning according to you you're in a haste and you forgot to brush your teeth, guess what? By the time you say good morning to someone, the person would automatically, if you answer the person from this angle, good morning, the person will answer from this angle, good morning. So how do you want it to be? So on our did you know page today, we are just going to be talking about few ingredients that you can use to help, you know, give your mouth that good scent and free from odor that you didn't know about. I'm sure you didn't know, probably if you know, but you don't know all. So we are going to take on the first one, which is, this one is actually for the lips. There are some people, you look at them, it's like they smoke, but they don't, like they take cigarettes, they have this very dark lips. That's what we know. We know that people who have very dark lips are people who take cigarettes, but it's not the case, because there are people who are naturally born, they were born that way, like that's their, it's part of, it's their nature, that they have maybe in their gene, or they have like in their family, they have that kind of dark lips. So some of them tend to, you know, answer in the society often, or some of them are looked upon as, especially guys. For a ladies, it's difficult because sometimes ladies apply, you know, the lip gloss, they apply the pink lips, so it's over time they take care of themselves. Maybe if they are going out for an occasion, they can you know, apply maybe a red lipstick, a pink lipstick, a purple. So it's almost impossible for people to really notice, but at times people do. But now for guys, there is this stereotype about guys having dark lips, according to what we think, or what we sometimes imagine, is that it's as a result of too much cigarettes, like a lot of, you know, smoking, that resulted to that. But there are people who just have that. So we are starting with the lips. And now, talking about the lips, you have olive oil, sugar. Olive oil and sugar, those are the two things that we have. You have olive oil and sugar. So these are common things that you can, I mean, sugar is everywhere. You drink tea every day, you have sugar in your house. And olive oil you can get as from, let's say, 1,000 francs, you get a good quantity and good one. Or let's say 1,500 or 2,000, you get the original, not the mixed version of it. So if you have this sugar and olive oil, what do you need to do? All you need to do is blend, scatter, blend the sugar into dust and put in a bowl. Inside that same bowl, take a teaspoon of olive oil and pour in. Mix it together with the sugar. After doing that, you apply on your lips. You can do this in the morning and in the evening before going to bed. Now this helps to soft, like the, so you apply it as if you know, in a circular motion, as if you're brushing, like you, it's like you're brushing your lips, as if you're brushing your lips. So you apply this. So now the sugar penetrates, and the sugar helps to soften the lips. So if you're suffering from, let's say, dark lips, and you know, some of these, sometimes it's just good to use natural things, because sometimes you want to use the other maybe the processed ones, and it doesn't really work for you. So you just have to keep trying. Now this tip I'm specifically giving it for the guys, because they are going through a lot, but the ladies too can, you know, use this and just make that lip of yours attractive, you know, just make it look attractive and, you know, pleasant. That is it. And then we have the next one. This time around we are talking about the mouth. Yes, and I said earlier that you might have eaten fish the previous day. If you have eaten fish the previous day and waking up in the morning, probably you were so much in a haste, which you shouldn't even be. I said the other day that after praying, the next thing is you should brush your teeth. So it should not even be one of those things that you forget to do, like even if you're in a haste, but stuff happens, and maybe the next day you want to brush your teeth and maybe it doesn't really you know, it doesn't really still like that. You still try, you're still getting a little bit of maybe this scent, I should call it fragrance, that you don't like. So what do you need to do now? We have honey, warm water, and lemon. These are the three things that we have. We have honey, warm water, and lemon. So what do you simply do? Inside a bowl of warm water, a little bit of it, you pour slice lemon. You slice lemon into two, like, then you squeeze the juice of that lemon inside that warm water. Make sure you squeeze and finish it, like suck the juice out of it. And then inside that same bowl, you apply a teaspoon of honey. Stir and stir until it blends and becomes, you know, like water, like blends all together. Then you apply this. Now you're using this like a mouthwash. It should be like a mouthwash for you. So in the morning, you do this in the morning, use it as mouthwash, rinse your mouth with it, and then in the evening you do the same thing. And trust me, you and let me, like, the whatever it is that you've eaten, it could be onions. Gosh, onions can disgrace someone. Like, you eat, the moment you just eat onion, by the time you move from you take one step or 1 meter, somebody start asking you, my dear, have you eaten onions? Especially when you're close, like when you're on a close range with that person, talking to that person, you already realize that, I mean, it's like it's all over. It's like it's an announcement that this person has eaten onions. So there are certain things that really disgrace us, and if we love to eat them, for example, I love onions, we love to eat them all the time, then you should also put in methods of, you know, cleansing that scent or the odor it gives, because onions is one of them. And we know fish too. Like fish, my goodness, by the time you're eating fish, bah. And then now let's go on to something else. So before we take on our topic of discussion today, last time we spoke about something. Anyways, that one we'll bring it later. That one is still going to come under our topic. We are still going to talk about that later. So this time I think that's it for today. But before I go, now this a little one that I almost forgot is still within the corridors of, but this one is lime, not lemon. So for those who are like, if you know, there are days that maybe you were busy all through you took your bath in the morning, and then you got so busy during the day, you know, from one place to another, and we know the dry season is approaching, and it gets really hot out there. You have to run this errand, run that errand, do this and do that. Maybe you come back. Yes, some people have really good soaps, fragrance soaps that they use to, you know, shower, and it clears everything. But if you are still, if after using this fragrance soap and you feel like, no, maybe over the days or over time you are still getting, you know, certain, you're feeling a type, and maybe, you know, this is one of the part where when we talk about, you know, fragrance that are not good. We have our armpits, and then we also have the mouth. We have, so talking about the armpits, yes. So now if you have had a really busy day and maybe sweat, you know, it's not just enough to use a fragrance soap. You can use lime and warm water to clear off any, I mean, the moment you use it, it's like you have taken a whole bath. But no, that is to clear off the tick. You know, our armpits gather, especially if you don't use a sweat absorbent roll-on. They are sweat absorbent roll-ons, and they are non-sweat absorbent roll-ons. So what am I talking about? They are roll-ons that absorb, you know, heat. For example, if you're going out there, you apply the roll-on, it absorbs. Even if you're going to sweat, by the time you sweat, it absorbs, like you don't sweat like that. That's why you find some people, maybe it's a sunny day, everybody is like really rushing. Some people, you find sweat from their armpit to their waist. Another person, you find it from their back to their butt. Another person, you just find out that they are dry. There are people who are naturally like that. Maybe it's because they don't have water in their system. I don't know how I can explain that. But there are people who use sweat absorbent roll-ons. Now these roll-ons help to absorb sweat. But then again, if you are not opportune to, I think it's always advisable to get one of those, the sweat absorbent roll-ons. Or for this one, I'm talking about the lime and the warm water. Now you slice the lime into two when you get home before taking your bath. Make sure the armpit area is clean and free from all the black bushes. The black bush, the black bush, right? So you make sure it's clear and free, and then you apply this there. It's going to hurt a little, but it's going to help you to clear whatever whatever sweat that you might have goggled, picked up during the day, and it's stored in there. It's almost like it's stored in there. That's why sometimes people just will they open their armpits and smell it, and they're like, so this lime and this lime is going to help you to absorb and remove all of that. So you apply it, I think leave it for about 2 to 3 minutes before taking your bath. So how was it, Ona? Did you know? I hope you learned something. And if you forget anything from my guys, please don't forget the sugar and the olive oil. Don't also forget the lime, especially guys, because they work a lot and they are heavyweight carriers. They do a lot of hard chores out there, so you might want to add this to your your routine, your bathroom routine, and trust me, it's going to be an amazing one, and you realize that there's going to be a lot of changes. So that was it for our Did You Know. I hope it was actually Did You Know, like you didn't know about it, and we brought you something quite different this morning. Okay, so we are moving straight away right onto our topic of discussion this morning. And yes, it is Cultural Wednesday, so we are going straight away to our topic of discussion, which is about culture. So as I was perusing my topic of discussion as usual, and then I was like, it's Cultural Wednesday, and what can we possibly talk about? So we are going to be talking about certain aspects of culture that has changed over the years. So the question is, what can you say hasn't changed about culture for years? What can you say hasn't changed? Like, what can you say hasn't changed about your culture? Yes, what can you say hasn't changed about your culture over the years? So that's our topic of discussion. What can you say, in your own opinion, what can you say hasn't changed about your culture? As the Western culture is approaching, a lot of things are changing, and people are beginning to adapt, like what we were talking about the other Wednesday. But we're mostly talking about what has changed, but now we are talking about what can you say hasn't changed about your culture. So that is our topic of discussion this morning. Right about now, we are talking culture, and yes, the ELE people are on my mind this morning, so we are going to find out what and how they dress and certain aspects of their culture. Journey with me as we go meet Mata to talk about Mata. Tell us what the ELE people is all about on this. Don't go anywhere.
Once more, good morning, televiewers. In the Bangwa language, you'd say alele. Alele to all of the Bangwa viewers, alele to all of you, and you respond alemu. This time around, we are here with Professor Alembo, who happens to be a cultural enthusiast, and he'll be telling us more about the people from the ELE division. He'll be telling us more about their culture and something which is more peculiar, the intricacies in their culture. Now, something got my interest. Why should the parents not take total responsibility or total charge for their children's bride price, like you rightly said? Why should they be going back to their grandfathers, who literally are just their grandparents and not their biological parents?
Well, that's a very good question. We believe in maintaining kinship. Kinship is different from family. We have different types of family. You have the nuclear family, father, mother, and maybe the children. That's the nuclear family. You have extended family. That has to do with, an extended family has to do with the parents and grandparents of the man and that of the wife. But kinship has to do with blood relationship flowing in the ancestral line, the lineage. A girl is not owned by one person, by one family. Even if you did not contribute to the girl's upbringing, the day you are marrying of that girl, the parents will come, whether you married or not. Why? Because a child belongs to the community, to the lineage, to the king family. Now, also, madam, is to avoid certain curses in the family, which may even lead to witchcraft. An aunt sitting somewhere will say, so you married that girl, I didn't even eat small salt, I didn't have oil, you didn't even know that is my daughter or my... So to avoid problems, we associate, no. And it is statutory. It's not the whims and caprices of the biological parent. No. It is the culture. You must give something to the girl's grandparents. This is statutory. To avoid wranglings in the family and to maintain kinship relationship. It's very important. Yeah, it is.
How is coronation being carried out in the Bangwan land?
Coronation of chiefs?
Yes.
That's a very complicated matter. That is very, very complicated. When the chief travels or is in hospital, we don't say chiefs die, no. The chief is either he has traveled and will soon come back, or he's in hospital sick and will soon get well. Okay. The day he comes back, the day he gets well, you see him sitting there. And the whole village will come and welcome him. Oh, you are back. That is the official presentation where dances will come out and all sort of masquerades and royal dances. But before that public ceremony, the chief is already crowned behind the scene. That is the rituals take place. That's why I said we're not going to do this. The rituals take place before the open ceremony. Before they come to show him in public. He is already a chief. What is chieftaincy? It's the ritual you go through now. It's not the ground they wear. The rituals. So those rituals, and those rituals are not meant for the public. The rituals are performed by kingmakers. Some people call them Gumba house or things like that. They're not meant for the public. So you don't know what is happening there. And that's why you don't say those things.
If he cannot actually talk, if he cannot necessarily tell who is going to be the next successor, how do the people know their next successor?
It's very difficult, I must assure you this, very difficult for a chief to live without knowing the successor. Some chiefs sit on the throne just about 5 years and their successor comes. In my culture, successorship is spiritual. A chief may have 10, 20 children without his successor among them. I bet you, madam. You may have 20 children and your successor is not yet among them. The day your successor comes, they see it. There are certain signs. And that is why we see some chiefs grow old up to about 70, 80 years and with so many children. Then the day they disappear, they bring a 9-year-old child. That is my successor. This is the successor of the chief. So people say, why do they leave older people who have money, who are well established and so on, and they bring a child? It's spiritual, madam. It's spiritual. You may have 20 children and your successor is not yet among them. Yes. And a second, you know. And when you are successful, in fact, among the children, their behavior, the successor's behavior is unique. It's only the father, it's only the chief who is seeing it. Other people don't see it. The way the person will take their place, the way he behaves among his brothers, unique. But the chief knows that this boy is doing this. That is the characteristic that he has been born with to take over. It's spiritual. Yes. You know, without let chiefs in that place. Don't. Now, the BLM is a confederacy. That is to say, we have clans. We have clans. And there are many villages in each clan. And each village has a chief. But we have a clan head. A clan head who oversees everything that goes on in the clan. So it's like the coordinator, the clan head, to whom allegiance is paid and recognized as such as clan heads. Some people in other cultures will say paramount ruler. Some will say fund, and so on and so forth. We don't have funds in the BLM. It's just a borrowing. Today we hear that the fund of this in the BLM. Because the traditional name for that head of the clan is Fua Atemangwa.
Okay, Fua Atemangwa.
Yes, Fua in my language means chief. In my language means chief. Fua Atemangwa. Atem means to shoot and kill. Ngwat means to slaughter. Why do they call him Atemangwa? Because the paramount ruler was associated with the leopard. Whoever kills a leopard takes to the paramount ruler. You don't slaughter it. You take it to the paramount ruler's palace. He has the prerogative. He has a knife that slaughters it. Then you have Fuante. Fua in Malawi means chief. The Fuante are the people who, before the paramountcy was established, were there. They must have come from somewhere and so on. And then they now are subservient to the paramount. Then you have another category of chiefs who are from who have royal blood from the paramount family, who have gone and established their own villages and are recognized as chiefs of those villages. The idea at that time was to conquer territory. And you find this in everywhere, maybe in the grasslands. Also in when I was looking at the Upper Gemba, many chiefs in Upper Gemba are cousins, many of those ones. Now, in each palace, a chief is not crowned alone. Since you talk about the administration, every chief, whether you are Fuatmangwa, Fuante, Fuankangri, you have a cabinet. Every chief has a cabinet. When you have the chief, you have Nkweta. Nkweta is the direct assistant of the chief. A male. Nkweta. After that, you have Mafo. The Bamiki call Mafo. What Mafo is a female. And by virtue of the traditional setup, the Mafua was like the Minister of Women Affairs in the palace, taking care of women issues in the whole chiefdom or Mafua. Then under Mafua, you have Ankweta, someone who is assisting, is another woman assisting the Mafua. Since the chief is assisted by Nkweta. Then you have the spokesperson of the palace called Ase. Ase. So if there's something, we will send him. We'll go and do it. Ase. We'll send Ase. So that is structure. Well structured. So when you see a chief from the rebellion like I am, I have a cabinet. A chief like, look, my culture. No. I have Nkweta, I have Mafwa, I have Ankweta, I have Ase. There's a cabinet. Meaning therefore that there can be no vacancy. There can be no vacancy. So even if the chief is not around, the palace, the village functions without any problem. You don't even know that the chief is not there. You don't even know. It's well structured. And those people are crowned with the chief. The day the chief is crowned, they too undergo rituals. And are respected as such. In Bama culture, and the way our ancestors conceived it, these people must not come from the same womb. The way our ancestors conceived it. After about the chief, the Nkweta, the Mafwa, the Ankweta, that's it. How many of them? 5. It presupposes that I should have at least 5 wives. Do you understand what I mean? Because by the way our ancestors conceived it, they're not going to come from the same womb. Does that mean something to you? Why the chiefs are polygamous? You see? You can't tell what you don't hear that that one chiefs have many wives. People say, no, it's outdated. How can you have many wives? But it's embedded in the culture. It's embedded. The way our ancestors conceive it, those children must not come from the same woman. Consequently, you marry many wives. Because each wife will give a member of the cabinet. You see?
I would want you to throw more light on some of the aspects of culture. You talk about the dance, you talked about coronation, how marriages are being evolved. Now let's go to the traditional dishes. What are the peculiar dishes you people have?
The Ghanaian people, we have the southern part is forest, the middle belt is mixed savanna, and the upper belt is virtually savanna. You find this in many of the chiefdoms or foundoms in Ghana. Why am I saying this? It's because in cultural studies, we have this theory. Culture is environment. Your environment dictates your culture. The way you live, what you eat, how you build houses, and so on and so forth. How comes the Bako people don't build houses with the mud bricks? You don't have mud, you have sandy soil.
Exactly.
So you see what I mean by culture is environment. Consequently, the same, what do you eat? What you eat depends on your environment. Consequently, in the southern part of Liberia, the principal food is cocoyam, pounded cocoyam, and with opanchi or bekan. This is vegetable. Nchi is pumpkin leaves prepared, and then bekan is what you can call bitter leaf. That family, bitter leaf family. So the Liberian people are fufu eaters. If you don't eat fufu, it means you're not eating Liberian. Then in the northern part you have other cereals, potatoes, and so on and so forth. That's how it is.
I usually used to hear of people talking of Bengansa, something like that.
Pardon?
Bengansa.
Oh, Ngapsa. Ngapsa means beans. That's this beans that Ngapsa is beans. This Abe Ngapsa.
Okay.
Because we Abe is fufu. The part of Korean. They used to eat fufu with beans. That's what I mean by Abe Ngapsa.
Okay, Abe Ngapsa.
Abe is fufu.
Okay.
Yes.
So looking at the culture of the Libyan people, we've got to learn a lot. We've seen a lot more about their culture, tracing right from a little history about their topography and looking at the cultural agglomeration to the people of the Grassfield, talking about the people of the Northwest region. At this point in time, I want to find out if there is anything about your culture which you think it's alien, looking at the 21st century.
Well, you know, as I said, culture is dynamic, it's not static. Consequently, you even have proverbs in my language that show how some cultural aspects have disappeared. For instance, we will have a proverb like Mwa angang selegra nseti. Mwa angang selegra nseti. Mwa means child, nse is water, ati is calabash. What's to go and fetch water with calabash? So the utensils that our parents use, the mortars, the calabashes, so utensils are fast disappearing. Even the traditional meals we had. When my parents were growing up, did they have rice? We don't have rice in our meal habit. Meals are changing. Then, even some dances have disappeared. Because I tell you, there are some people who knew certain dances. But as they die, they go away with that culture, and dances have disappeared. Meals have disappeared. Utensils have disappeared. We had this different types of mortars that my parents, my mother used. You don't see them again. You see? Even clothing. The traditional Bama clothing has disappeared. I saw them when I was a child. They have disappeared. So we have new forms that are made to reflect our culture. So there are many aspects. Yes.
Okay, it has been an elaborate time with Fua, who has told us a lot about the Bangwa culture. Thank you so much, sir, for having us and telling us about your culture. So what last word can you give to our televiewers about their culture, particularly to the Bangwa people?
Let me say something in conclusion. The culture of a people is their mark of identity. The culture of a people is their mark of identity. This means we cannot afford to lose our culture. Irrespective of the modernization, the globalization we have today, we have to stick to our culture. But the good aspects of the culture, that's some aspects of the culture that are obsolete. They are obsolete. So we stick to the good ones. Make sure we don't, our culture does not disappear. That's what I can say. And for parents, you know, language is part of culture. Language, our language is disappearing. You talk about disappearing. Many people now, of our children speak Mwe. So languages disappear. Do you know that?
Exactly, I know.
Yes. See, even Mokwe, you have different forms of Mokwe. The Mokwe is spoken in Bakingili and Limbe and Buea and behind the corner there as well. They're different.
Televiewers, we have come to this particular part of the program, which is cultural sloth representation. I have been Marta Namundo Ikome. I'm throwing a shout out to all the Bangwa people out there. I'm telling you once more, Alele, and it has been a wonderful time in the confines of our own father, Professor Alembo, who happens to be a native ruler, who happens to be a cultural enthusiast, who happens to be a traditional ruler. At this point in time, we'll meet some other time. Over to you back there in the studio.
Welcome back, and yes, we are still in your company, and I hope you are still in my company as well. Yes, we are still right here on the Breakfast Show, making sure that you get premium entertainment and making sure that all goes well as far as Cultural Wednesday and the morning show is concerned. Yes, this time around, and we gave our topic of discussion, and we're asking what can you say hasn't changed about your culture? What can you say hasn't changed about your culture for years? What is that thing that no matter what happens, it still remains the same? But even though culture is not supposed to change, right? Like stuff about culture, like things about, you know, culture is not even supposed to change to begin with. But then again, we find ourselves, you know, diverting, or better still trying to make it compromise certain aspects of culture because we want to be modern, or we want to be civilized, or whatever the case may be. So this morning I am asking the question, yeah, you watching us this morning, I'm asking the question, what can you say hasn't changed about your culture over years? Many thanks to Mata Namundo, and I'm sure the GBAMU people, hey, talking about what hasn't changed. I'm sure you got a lot of answers concerning what hasn't changed about the GBAMU people, and you got the important aspects of their culture, their dressing, their lifestyle, and so much more. Many thanks to Mata and the chief. So this time around, we are talking about what hasn't changed about your culture. Maybe if you're watching us and you are from GBAMU, you could contribute, or you're watching us and you are, you know, my Mokpe people, or the Bamileke people, the Basa, the Inso people, whatever the case may be. So this morning, I want to know what hasn't changed. Let me take, for example, my own side. I think so far the aspect of marriage rights never change, right? I don't think they do. Probably they might just add something, or they might add what's not on the list, but they don't change. And then also our dance steps, they never change. And then there are a couple of things that haven't changed. For the ones that have changed, not really changed but are slowly fading away, is the aspect of you have this, when somebody dies they call it sasa. I hardly find people do it nowadays, where after 3 days they kill a pig, and according to the tradition, like back in the days, they kill this pig as in remembrance of the person, or like telling the person a final goodbye, like we are not going to be together again, we hope you rest in peace, and so on. So I think that is slowly, you know, Christianity has come. Some people find it like it's fetish. According to them, the spill of blood, even though it's that of a pig, but they find it like they cannot really partake in such a thing. So slowly you find people, even Mokwe people, who die and this particular tradition is not done. So slowly it's being forgotten, or slowly it's been abandoned. And I think over the years, with the new generation of okay, people that are coming, I should call it new generation, if our fathers are not really there, you know, to pin their pillars on the ground and say no, this particular one has to stay, or we have to do this, then I think we are going to really lost that one. Or over the years, maybe it's really going to fade away, and we'll no longer have it. So I don't know what else hasn't changed about mine. I want to know about yours. Yes, what hasn't changed about your own culture? In other words, tell us something about your culture. Just tell us something. Maybe it could be your dressing style. For example, ours has never changed. It's been the kaba all through. Yes, it's been kaba all through, and the men have always, you know, had their sanjas on with their shirts, most especially white shirts. So that hasn't changed. The Sawa people, that hasn't changed. Their dressing code hasn't changed. And I'm just happy that some people, you know, really come, when they go out there, they really come out, you know, in this attire. They really come out, you know, all African. And one of the places that I really love to see people come out African is doing, who can guess, like doing kamif. You find a lot of people, you know, this one is in Togo, this one is in Kaba, this one is in Sanja, especially the Sawa people, they represent. And I think that's all for now. Like, there's not much that hasn't changed. There's a lot that hasn't changed, rather. I don't think I have something that has has really changed. Apart from the Sasa that I spoke about, the Mokwe people understand what I'm saying. Yes, slowly but surely, people are beginning to like, I don't want this part, I don't want it, and maybe they say it before something happens to them, because when this particular aspect happens after someone dies, so the person is like, I don't like this practice. When I die, you should not do this particular aspect. Like, don't do it don't do it because you want to tell me good. If I don't even do it in the first place. So some people give their say and it's respected, and others probably they were not opportune to say it and it happened. So it's usually after someone dies, but I think so far everything put in place. I can say maybe the dishes too haven't. How can the dishes change? Like they haven't changed. So just tell us, what can you say hasn't changed about your culture? So in other words, tell us aspects of your culture. Let's know where you're watching us from, and maybe certain aspect of your culture. It could be your dance. It could be those from the northwest, the way they greet their mbe. So just tell us what hasn't changed about your culture, and what's that thing. So you're telling us what hasn't changed. Just tell us where you are greeting us from and where you're watching the program from. Okay, so that is it. I'm waiting for your contribution. Yes, we are streaming live on YouTube, so you can drop a message on the comment section there on YouTube, or you can send us a WhatsApp message through the number you find on your screen, or you can send us an SMS. Whatever the case may be, just let us know where you're watching us from this morning. It's really raining cats and dog. I think today is going to be one of those really cold and shivery weather day, so you might want to just be lazy like be useless. Like I was just saying this one, that some people just want to feel very useless today. At least let me be called a lazy person just for today, so I can lay on my bed. But if you have stuff to do, unaccomplished goals, unaccomplished assignments, then you have to wake up. So that is it. Still waiting for your contribution. We are going to take another musical break, and when we come back, I said we are going to be finding out something exciting about the Mokwe people. Don't go anywhere.
Jele, mo leli mo maria, e pa ko ke maria. E beti leke. E jele.
Ekume. Hey, Elia. Aruja
It's Milo's Juicy.
Na mala e pa koko e. Mama maika we lolo teni. Na mala e pa koko e. Mama maika we lolo teni.
Hey, Elia.
E pa koko te. Moleli mote. Mama really ve. Orange tomato na mo e pa koko te. Moleli mote. Mama really ve. Orange tomato na mo. Na mala e pa koko e. Mama maika we lolo teni. Na mala e pa koko e. Mama maika we lolo teni.
Aruja
E pa koko te. Moleli mote. Mama really ve. Orange tomato na mo e pa koko te.
Elia.
Moleli mote. Mama really ve. Orange tomato na mo. Orange tomato na mama e. Orange tomoleli na retani really ve. E pa koko te. Moleli mote. Mama really ve.
Elia.
Orange tomato na mo e pa koko te. Moleli mote. Mama really ve. Orange tomato na mo. Na mala e pa koko e.
Ekume. Hey,
Mama
Elia.
maika we lolo teni. Na mala e pa koko e. teni.
Ekume.
E pa kokote.
Elia.
Moleli mote.
Aruja.
Mama really say. Orange tomato. Na mo e pa kokote. Moleli mote. Mama really say. Orange tomato. Na mo. Mama monyengi mami. Mama indolo yami.
Ekume.
Natangi taxi one day, daweki mama mae. Natangi taxi one day, daweki mama mae. E pa kokote, oleli mote, mama awili ve. Orange tomato, na mo e pa kokote, oleli mote, mama awili ve. Orange tomato, na mo.
Ah, that's it, right? Mama Maika, we know me. Ekpa kokote, mama, oeli mote. Look, see, this morning, I don't know what I should do to clothing. I'm sitting peacefully and she's showing me Timbanambusa. There's this way that the oil, like when they say the kwakoko. Oh, those, people who eat kwakoko and bangas can understand what I'm saying. There's this way that the soup lies, on top of the kwakoko that they have sliced. And then, oh, my father, my mother, clothing are not nice this morning. But I refuse it. I will not eat. I'm on a breakfast show, so I'm taking breakfast. That is just to say that if you haven't taken breakfast this morning, please go and look for breakfast. So there's this thing with hunger and rain. When you prepare food or you're at home, today like this, people eat. They'll eat 7 times. Especially if you don't end up leaving your house. Like by the time you just feel hungry, go to the pot and eat. At least you're sleeping now. By the time you get up again, don't make somebody to prepare 2 pots of food today. So yes, we are still right here talking about, and it's like I didn't know what we're going to talk about. Yes, kwakoko, that is Timbanambusa for the Bakwe people. The sese. Yeah, it's not a one that they remove from the leaf here and put on the plates and then they just put soup on top. The real Mokwe women, they slice it into tiny pieces, and then this is how they do it. They put a little bit of salt or soup inside the kwakoko. Oh my goodness. And then they do like this. That's why they call it what? They say Timbanambusa. It goes, anyways, I don't want to prepare. Let me not salivate too much. So talking about the Mokwe people this morning, and one of their traditional dishes, we are going to find out what's kwakoko Bible. Some people used to think, somebody once asked me, this kwakoko Bible, why do they call it kwakoko Bible? Is it that the kwakoko Bible has everything inside, or in fact, why the name kwakoko Bible? Don't ask me where it's coming from, but it's that unique name that has been given to this Mokwe dish, eaten by the Mokwe people, the Bakwe people, and most especially, many people in Cameroon have grown to love this particular dish. You find it in restaurants, you find it in different occasions. People want to, like, some people just come and like, that is what they want to eat, and it's served sometimes with Kanda sauce. I think somebody already knows what I'm talking about. Of course, you already know it's kwakoko Bible. So we are going to make this
5 years today. Now the business where I start and so now I sponsor my picking them for the level where they don't reach. they come by give my chop. Now student and the one the way they for come by to marry children. Now they just buy my chop. And I just forget command for outside country where I dry am send am out. Challenge way at the get time, na say cocoa do go up. Fish, you know, day at first time we fish today, but I still manage am for the level way I fit for manager. They talk about my pakoko and say it's fine. I said my pakoko fine. As a maker, when I don't mix them, I taste everything. It be okay. When they chop them, they talk say yes, mommy you know for do am. Now make a way they give me command.
The pakoko is really nice. The first day I tasted it, I asked about her and it was really nice, more than some other ones I've been eating. I asked that how long has she been making it, because it's really nice. It's that she has been making it for about 15 years. I was like, wow, because it's really tasty and the quantity of it and the kind of people who order. They come they don't just take one, they do order for various and some other things. So that's what I
fine, and then the standard sauce to be fine, and the standard sauce. Kanda no strong like other kanda, the quality sauce. But they can't walk people the way they are around. We can't buy a pakoko like the neighbors. They sold them around here. They can't buy a pakoko job when time for job don't really show
Welcome back. Yummy. Like, I just maybe I should go and look for pakoko and kanda sauce after this, because with all the rain and everything, I just keep getting, like, I feel like I could get the aroma from here. Don't ask me. Yeah, but when it's your traditional meal, you can't help but just want to have a taste of it all the time. And Do you think that some people don't like their traditional meals? Hey, as you see me, see Kwakugamba. Please, can we have that of Mimi? Like, Mimi, what did you do to this guy? And if you notice, look at, I think the first, second, the third picture, Mimi is not even smiling, holding that painting. Like, what did Mimi do to this girl? What I mean, this guy, what did Mimi actually do to to deserve this? Like, if you look at that beauty right there and what was seen there, does it even tie? Like, do they even look alike? Is that her? Like, what is this? And then this guy, this actually trend for some time, and people were talking about it. It was all over social media, and it was really out there. Then we felt like it's just one of those things that I don't know if Mimi actually collected this thing and even said thank you to begin with. My dear, it's me. I will not say thank you because that's not me. You will not go and just something else. I come and give that is me. Just imagine, like, look at me, like, do I just something else? Oh my God. And then we were talking about it. It was all over social media, and then we thought maybe that one had died down until he recently visited this other lady. My gosh, that of Mimi is even better. I think Mimi, even there's a little bit of resemblance to that of Mimi. I mean, look at this guy. This is not wickedness. This guy, what did these ladies really do to you? Like, what did they do to you? See the way she's even holding the painting, and she's just like, and then to think that the guy, is it that it's his own comedy that he wants to start? Maybe it's his own comedy, but it's not really funny now. I feel like it's some kind of, I don't know, but if this is his own comedy, then I'm sure maybe he's actually getting to people out there in one way or the other. My goodness, does it even tie? Look at that black beautiful lady. Black beauty turn into what? My goodness, this guy, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that's his own comedy that he wants to start, but trust me, mon Dieu, je dis que ça ne va pas. I even saw a video of this lady. She was telling one of her colleagues, they were discussing about it, and then she took the picture. She said, "Mais, c'est moi là-bas, ça c'est quoi même?" She was like, no, c'est pas moi là-bas, no. She took the portrait and then put like beside her face, and then she was like, "Please look at me and then look at this portrait. Like, just take time to look at the both of us. Look at me and look at this portrait. Is that me?" And she was like, "No, that's not me. Like, it does not even look like me." And my dear, my sister, sincerely speaking, I don't even know if that's you. Like, if you this guy, I think it's his own comedy that he wants to start. But if it's not his comedy, I'm sorry to say this, but maybe he can leave painting and go and start doing carpentry, because it's like he's nailing those people's faces instead of painting their faces. My goodness, the lady was like, she was explaining to her colleague, and then she was like, imagine, just take a look at that. Like, imagine, that's not me. Like, I cannot even recognize myself. Like, why would I not be able to recognize myself? Like, that is not me. So it was a whole thing of chaos, and it brought a lot of, so many people are posting it online. You don't even want to see the comments. Like, I don't even want to read the comments because they are terrible. Like, they are horrible. The comments are, people are just so wicked. Like, if like I said, if this guy is a comedian, then we can take it. If he's not a comedian, please, he should just leave painting and do carpentry. I'm saying, you, my fuchers, don't be giving people's daughters portraits of, like, when they are not. Like, don't give them what they are. Don't make them look like what they don't look like. I mean, you're doing a portrait of someone and the person looks like one mama. That girl is young and now she looks like one mama in the village. Please, if it's not comedy, then we are laughing. But if it's not comedy, you can just switch that energy to nailing plans and doing something else. Yes, because I can just imagine me sitting right here now and somebody brings me a portrait that does not look like me. I'll just go and carry that one on my wall in my house, in my parlor, and just bring to you and tell you, please, if you're not seeing me physical, see me on this one. Like, do something different. So that was it. And I think we're going to be having some comments after we take this musical break, because we have to get what is going on as far as the world of sports is concerned. Don't move a muscle after this music.
Cameroun encore appelé Africa miniature. On y a bien noté, c'est pour ça de l'agriculture. On développe encore avec la pisciculture. On est nous sommes alors venus vanter nos cultures. Du nord aussi de l'est à l'ouest à Cameroun uni. Réunification, cela impose harmonie. Nos talents sont sacrés, cela vient tout droit d'Afrique. Passe à pas le major, restera dans vos souvenirs. Major couleur.
Grille de griffe. Tiens-le le monument. Mais bon, mais manibé, tout le monde les représenter. Attachez vos ceintures parce que ça vient de commencer. Avion d'étel, S1 déco, tous comme les fusées. Mouna Kwata, Molé Kwata, n'en vient vous confirmer. Avec faut disposer. Ma plainte est rédigée, c'est ici que je la dépose pour pouvoir m'imposer. Les mêmes points à taper, le djembé est lancé. Pas de point à chanter, le volet va commencer. Major couleur.
Va gérer le matin, Danilo d'Assisa. Le West se passait chaque jeudi avec les cheveux. Le matin, l'officier, nous on sautait par la fenêtre. C'est comme ça qu'à nous, le mot les faisait qu'un c'était tellement assis dans ma comme du vinaigre. Regarde un peu les séances de les flammes de l'enfer. On ne portait pas le fer, ne devait pas faire le bien de fer. Si tu blagues dans ta tête, nous disons son abominaire. C'est ça qui nous donne une nerf, c'est toi le Camerounais. Major couleur. Et tout blesse le man. Quand je dis non, on va gagner de bon papa mort. Quand je dis non, on va gagner de bon papa mort. Papa mort,
amazing time, and yes, we are still right here as far as the breakfast show is concerned. Yes, we have been talking a lot on culture, but then again, I was hearing Onana. I don't know what was happening yesterday. I saw everybody posting Onana, 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 Onana. What happened to Onana? What? I think it's like he saved a whole generation, I should say so. And Sonita is here to tell us more. Good morning, Sonita.
Good morning, Rita Mafani. It looks like you read my mind this morning.
Really?
And yes, Onana saved a whole generation yesterday. I'm happy you're transiting already into the world of sport until you could feel the fever yesterday, especially for my United fans who watched that amount of this type of word.
My sister, right on.
Women and emotions.
That's how your heart. They will not break your heart. They'll just catch it if you want to fall.
Yes, Richard family, thank you very much, and good morning once more to all the televiewers of High Television this morning, and a special one to all the Man United fans out there, where yesterday it was Man United that picked up a 1-0 victory over their opponent. A very, very interesting game where at the 72 minutes of play, it was Maguire that gave in the first goal of that particular game, and Onana having a 90 minutes applause penalty was the man of the game, as he, why not, saved that with a beautiful reading of that ball. Uganda, and mind you that they had a first training session in preparation of the 2024 Olympics qualifiers over there in Jeru, Uganda, where we have a couple of about 10 lionesses that are already over there in Uganda to prepare for this particular two confrontation that is going to wind up. The first confrontation is going to be on the 26th of October, and the second one is going to be on the 31st of October, rather, to tell you that these players have to, after failing to qualify for the World Cup, this is another opportunity for them to show us what they are made of in terms of the 2024 Olympic qualifiers over there in Uganda. And away from the alliances of Cameroon, we'll talk about the Guinness Super League fixture for match day 2. Imagine that the Guinness Siku has started this last weekend, where we had a beautiful result in terms of first match days of play, where we had Authentic that picked up beautiful defeat. I will go straight away in looking at who is going to lock horns in terms of match day 2 of the Guinness Siku League over there this week. And when on Saturday, October 28th, at their next stadium in Japoma, it's going to be Authentic and a clear offside that is going to lock horns at exactly at 2 p.m. While at Bambili University Stadium over there in the Northwest region is going to be Itan Bank that is going to welcome Loves Minproof. And on fixture 2, still on Saturday, October 2028, at their next Olympic Stadium is going to be Lekki RS. Lekki that is going to welcome RS Awa FC. Fixture 2 of the Guinness Siku. While Amazon Fab is going to lock horns with Eden Sport Fields at 3 p.m. still at the same stadium. And at their next stadium, Omisport next stadium in Douala, is going to be RS Fortuna to clash with Kamang Fins at exactly 1 p.m. Still in the same stadium at 3:30. It's in Sport FC that is going to lock horns with Ebolowa Sofa. That is match day 2 of the Guinness Siku that is going to, why not, commence on Saturday, 28 October 2023 in the various stadiums. And away from that, we go to Tico United, and yesterday it was another history for Tico United to have a new president, to be strategized as the regional league, or as players will be, why not, United after the General Assembly yesterday at the in Tico over there, the gateway city to the southwest region. I mind you that this is another challenge for Mr. Awundu Kemcha to, why not, continue flying the flags of the Samba boys over there in Tico. Away from that, we move straight away to remain in Limben, where the Lone Elite 2 team, Isosa, will be having their fundraising event on Friday 27, and they are calling on all stakeholders, fans, football lovers around the globe to come and support this team as they gear up to the 2023-2024 MTN Elite 2 season for this particular side. And mind you that if you are a lover of football, if you are a fan, and especially Southwest Elite, to stand and why not come and support the only team in terms of the MTN Elite 2 from the Southwest region. They will be, why not, waiting for your hand of extension or your hand of fellowship to why not support them as they prepare for the new football season, a new challenge, especially. And mind you that they are going to be having their first home game on Saturday, the 28th of October, at the Centenary Stadium with the newly instituted Panther of Inde. 3 p.m. Pick the rendezvous after this particular event. And yes, we go straight away to the fixtures of the M10 Elite 2, where today, Wednesday 25th, is going to be the launching of that particular, this particular season for the M10 Elite 2, where we are going to be having Tonnerre Calabar against Renaissance at 1:30 for the first game, and it's going to be counting for Pool A. While in Pool B is going to be Edin against RS Fab of Yaoundé. So far, that is the fixtures, and all roads are leading to the Olympia Next In Stadium over there in Yaoundé to witness another history in terms of the M10 Elite 2, as players, teams, and also individuals, coaches as well, are going to be writing new histories in terms of this particular M10 Elite 2 championship. And as we told you yesterday, the M10 Elite 1 is on the hot for the moment, as the teams have a 10 days rest in terms of why not to be prepared themselves as they will come back from the game. And it is with this particular Elite 2 fixtures that I am going to say bye-bye for now on the Sports Corner on the ELE GBAMU show.
Thank you so much, Sonita Ngoni. I must say it's always amazing. And yes, talking about, I'm still peculiar about, Andre Onana catching that. Oh my goodness. Like I said, I feel like I need one Onana in my life. What do you think?
Onana has gone through a lot of persecutions.
True.
And I'm happy that people are regaining confidence in this particular goalkeeper, because we have seen his capabilities, we have seen his abilities, and we know his work. And I think that the save he did yesterday, the walls of every house watching that game could testify to the ambience that this particular goal.
No, it was. I felt like it was Cameroon that was playing, and then
if Rita Mafani can say that she wants an Onana in her life, what about you?
And what about you too?
He's married. Let me remind you.
Oh, that is it too. That's how this life is. Something I want to go. Oh my God. Why should he be married now? Why are people gearing to get married these days?
The fact that you're not in the age doesn't mean that. And Mr. You are not in the same age group.
Please, we like them old. Yes, a little bit old, not really the same age with us. Anyways, that aside, anyone needs an Onana in their life. Am I lying? Need somebody to catch that heart of yours. Many a times, you have heartbreak stories. I fell in love with him, he broke my heart. If you had Onana, that dying minute that the heart is falling like that, just catch the heart.
I will catch it for you.
Yes, definitely. So enough of Onana. It's Cultural Wednesday, and over time, last time we were talking choice concern, but today we are talking about, like, what can you say, what to you, or in your opinion, hasn't changed as far as your culture is concerned? What are some of those things that, since you were like 2 years old, they are still there and very, very
the
evident?
Aspect of marriage, it hasn't changed. The aspect of find the traditional dance, the rituals that they normally used to do. When I talk about rituals, for instance, when the phone is coming out, the particular chief is coming out, there's this particular rituals that they do. All these things have not changed, and a couple of many other things have not changed, in as much as you will find a little bit of lapses in some of these aspects. But I think that the most important was talking about the marriage, talking about the outing of funds, of chiefs. I think all these have not changed, just to remain the same, and even more there's more room to eat, there's more flavor to this particular aspect, especially in terms of where you come from.
Okay, so that hasn't changed. And that also, I've talking about what hasn't changed, my dressing style hasn't changed.
The dressing style,
the dance and all of that too is still the same. And then I feel like one thing that I can see is slowly losing its place is that of it's called Sasa, this of that. So that hasn't changed, and in a country, maybe your tribe, whatever the case may be, there are a lot of things, and it's all left to us now to uphold these things that are not yet changing. And I would call us the new generation of those to uphold culture. So definitely, in one way or the other, be it dressing, be it food, whatever the case may be, we should try as much as possible to uphold it.
Food
and
is
make
one of
sure
those aspects that can never change.
no, it can never.
Was a traditional meal always a traditional?
Always. It can never change. And maybe we should just educate people on how to eat them. Like just
Definitely.
like
this thing that you go to a restaurant and somebody is eating food with forks,
or actual like
spoon.
yeah. If you should see someone doing that, you're like, don't you know you're disrespecting
it's a traditional meal
disrespecting this meal.
Respect.
True. Thank you so much, Sonita, for coming on board. And yes, we have been talking culture. It has been an amazing time in your company, I must say. Trust me, I have enjoyed this particular moment with you. But hey, it's not yet time for us to go. We take on this musical break, and when we come back, I say bye to you.
Aquarians arise and shine. Your Excellency, Professor Nalowa Lyonga, first Bakweri female minister in Cameroon. You have left a mark in our generation. We are proud of you. Wonya Lyonge. My husband come closer. Somebody join us to celebrate. The more you dance, the more your enemies are falling down. Lo anamije emokwela kalimeli. Ajongweli malo magbamu. Namolonga mototo have created and are still creating serious impact in our society. Tata Bella Mokie, Tata living in a year. Now I never do it. November to Kabele. Katike Badika, never Christina Tita. Tita, now I love it. Nemo Konone, Monatakoe, Oliver the young must grow.
Welcome back, and yes, we are about drawing the curtains. But can we draw the curtains without knowing what the newspapers stands are saying? Because we have the prolific Larry Etengenenye. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning to you, Mujoko darling.
I see you're all amped up for the weather.
Yeah. We move according to the flow.
Very important.
When the flow goes high, we go high. When the flow goes low, we go low. So that is just it, and that's the atmospheric condition that we find ourselves.
Okay, so away from the atmospheric conditions, who has been doing what's in the news?
Well, we have the Fako women for Hone and Anting. Not my time, but due to one circumstances or the other. Right away, let's move on to what the papers are saying this Wednesday, the 25th of October, 2023. We start with 573 teachers who have abandoned their post of teaching. That is what you can find on that set paper. MTN Elite One Championship. What is happening with Victoria United? That is a big question Haman Mana is asking on page 10 on Loju newspaper for today. We talk on debt servicing in the country. The paper picks an interest how Cameroon is servicing her external and internal debt in the country. Moving over to quotidian emissions for this morning, it talks of secondary school teachers. It says the inflation abandonment of teaching our positions by secondary school teachers, as most of them can be found in Europe, Americas, and other areas around the world. And we'll move over to Anglophone crisis. The paper talks of a new accuses losses of billions of CFA francs of the Anglophone crisis, as she says she has lost 75 billion CFA francs due to the Anglophone crisis for the past 5 years. That is what Enyo tells us on page 2 on quotidian emissions for today. We'll move over to prices of chicken. It says chicken now have prices will be adjusted as prescribed by the Minister of Trade, Luke Braga at Tanganang. We'll now take you to municipal updates for this morning. Municipal updates of Victor Cham talks of 2025 presidentials. Dian for CPDM declares for Buea. That is what you can read on that paper of municipal updates for today. 2023 last quarter, Cameroon to import 190,000 tons of rice from India. Get to read that story on Victor's paper for this morning. Transport Minister engages cargo transporters over concern. You can find more of these and others on the pages of municipal updates for this day. Cameroon Tribune of Marie Claire for this morning talks of the prices of most of the commodities that are highly consumed. It says wheat, chicken, eggs prices will be on the base as the Minister of Trade stipulates. Taking you now to talk something else, this time around with industrial mining. Cameroon prepares the parts. You can find that story on page 11 to 13 on that publication of Cameroon Tribune newspaper for this morning. MTN Elite One Championship resumption to take place on the 5th of November 2023. We move away from Cameroon Tribune with La Voix du Jeune. La Voix du Jeune for today talks of literature. It says Manawana Malachi serves Paul Biya. That is what you can find, or presents Paul Biya in a book that was being written by the Minister of Public Health. You can find more on that story on page 9 and 10 on that set paper for this morning. Taking you now to Nigeria with The Nation. The Nation talks of federal government on forex tax, jobs, investment policies. That is what you can find on The Nation for today. Oil thieves deploy CCTV immortal launches among pipeline routes. Get to read that story on that set publication for this morning. The Guardian Post for today says Bipinzi Grand Zambi Lobe Kribi iron ore projects companies fast-tracking works ahead of imminent laying of the foundation stones of the set projects in the south and east regions of the country. We'll move over to Bankolo. Landslide Sugar is preoccupied for this morning. IMF Faith Review mission underway in Yaoundé. Get to read that story on the Guardian Post for this morning. Let's take you now to Mutation of Thierry Diarra. It says Krebil Lulabe Grand Zambi. It says the promises in gold. That is what you can find on that set paper. Secondary school teachers, 1,571 secondary school teachers abandon their positions of teachings. Get to read that story on page 8 on Mutation for this morning. From Mutation, we make a stop right now with Daily Mirror. Daily Mirror talks of exclusive mirror prop, Killer Noye and Jungle Million. Get to read that story from the international tabloids for today. We'll take you to this other international tabloids of the Herald, the Daily Telegraph. The Daily Telegraph for today talks of UN's defense of Hamas is tragedy, says Israel. We'll move over to Churchill would be appalled at migrants' abuse of ECIH. Get to read more on that story for today. We'll take you back to the country Cameroon with Info Martin for today. Info Martin talks of prices of eggs and chicken. It says the government now comes to stabilize prices of these basic commodities in the country. That is what you can read on that said paper for today. We take you to one of Sopekam's publication this time around, Cameroon Business Today. Cameroon Business Today, for this, they talks of the transformation in the digital economy. It says the turnout in Yaoundé. Get to read that story on the digital week that just passed in the nation's political capital city of Yaoundé. New State Universities, it says housing, feeding, transport demands rise, business stakes. Get to read that story on that said paper. Southwest agricultural input equipment for Ngutsi farmers and the population. You can get more intricacies on that story on page 4 on Cameroon Business Today. We'll now take you to Limbe with the paper The Sun. The Sun says Jean Kwiti visits Southwest as crisis rock most sections of the CPDM political party. And we'll end with Volcanic Times. Volcanic Times says at historic AGM Fako women Nantinge Faone, we elect Dr. Hanan Boaitonde with thunderous aviation. Celebrated medic Dr. That stories and more on that set paper. Rita Mapani Mojoko, over to you.
Thank you so much, Larry, for bringing us what is going on as far as the newspapers are concerned. And talking about the inflation of prices, it's really alarming. And I must say, the prices are not just increasing, they are skyrocketing. Imagine, when did beans reach 200 francs in the market? Like beans that we used to buy, you know, I think it was 75 francs